Now, one major aspect of Smash is the stages, because this game, unlike many other fighting games, has more stages than fighters, which is interesting because most of the time there's usually only say there's 20 fighters, there's only 10 stages. Here it's the complete opposite. With over 80 characters on the roster, there's actually over 100 stages in Smash Ultimate. And while the amount of stages is actually really good just as a whole, if you dive in deeper, it's kind of pathetic, honestly, because some of the stages are really good, but others not so much. The amount of Mario stages that are in Smash is absurd, and of those Mario stages, it's the same stage multiple times for some reason, and some stages are just very not necessary. And what I mean by that is, I like it when the stages are literally specific areas ripped straight from the game they're from, and not just Smash Original, because I don't know why they keep doing this throughout the whole franchise. They keep making these Smash Original stages when they literally have material to work with. For instance, take Mario 64. For some reason, they only have 2 stages, and they're both either very loosely or just completely Smash Original. They're both very loosely referencing the game Mario 64, but for the most part, pretty much Smash Original. It's not just the Mario stages either. There are tons of other stages in the game that are pretty much Smash Original, and I hate it when they do that because, why? It's not necessary. And it's not just Smash Original stages either. When you're on a stage selection screen and you hover over a specific stage, it will say the name on the bottom of it. It will have the logo of the franchise next to the name, and then it will have the logo of the game it's from up in the top right-hand corner. Now, for some reason, some of the stages just say the franchise and not the specific game, even though it's very obviously from whatever it's from. Take Hyrule Castle, for example. This stage just has the logo, The Legend of Zelda, in the corner, even though it's very obviously ripped from Ocarina of Time, so I don't know why they couldn't just put the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time logo in the corner. I know this is just a small nitpick, but why? The same thing goes for the Mario 64 one. It literally just says Super Mario in the corner when it should say Super Mario 64. I mean, I guess it's okay since it is technically Smash Original, but it's based off 64, so And then Star Fox, oh my gosh. I love Star Fox so much, so the fact that I'm about to be trashing on the stages is kind of heartbreaking, but there's only 3 Star Fox stages in the game, and all 3 of them just say Star Fox in the corner, even though all 3 of them are so obviously based off of a specific game, or at least a mix of specific games. The Corneria stage debuted back in Melee, and it was actually based off Star Fox 64 for the majority of every single game it's been in, until they updated it in Ultimate, where it's kind of loosely based off Star Fox Zero. Actually, screw that. It's actually based off Star Fox Zero. I don't know why they couldn't just put that logo in the corner. And then there's Venom, which is so obviously based off Star Fox 64. It's why are you just putting the Star Fox logo in the corner? Come on, guys. And then there's the Lilac Cruise, which this one you could actually argue that just putting the logo of just the franchise as a whole makes sense, because this one actually isn't really based off a specific game, but it most resembles the very first mission in Star Fox Assault, which that reminds me into what I'm about to go into next. Now, unlike fighters where everyone is here, everyone has come back, yay! There's a bunch of stages that actually did not return for multiple reasons. I mean, there are some stages that were just pretty much the exact same stage, just slightly different, so they just got rid of it because it wasn't necessary. But there are a ton of stages throughout Smash history that probably are really cool and could have probably been in Ultimate. I just don't know why they didn't bring them back. I mean, take Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Remember the game I called It Just Exists? Well, it does have some pretty cool stages, I will say. And there's 2 specifically that, honestly, I don't understand why they didn't bring them back, because they were so... they put a lot of effort into them just for them to only be in one game. Are you kidding me? and that is the Donkey Kong stage and the Star Fox Assault stage. Now, the reasons for both of these not returning, one has a better reason than the other, but the Donkey Kong stage had this interesting gimmick where you would be able to actually fight in the background and the foreground using the barrels, but the problem is that wouldn't work with Stage Morph, which was added in Smash Ultimate, where you could literally change stages mid-battle, so that obviously wouldn't exactly work, but I feel like you could have programmed it into the stage where, like, if you were in the background, it just forced you into the foreground wherever you were. I feel like that's the most obvious thing to do, so it's, like, such a cool stage, and they lost it for, like, honestly kind of a lame gimmick to begin with, and it's, like, really? So that's one stage that didn't return that really should have. And then the other stage is the Star Fox Assault stage, and that one, they dub it as for the same reason, but it's almost exactly like the Pilot Wings stage, so it's kind of stupid that they got rid of the Star Fox Assault stage but kept the Pilot Wings stage, and they dubbed it as, like, not being able to work with Stage Morph, even though Pilot Wings works just fine with Stage Morph. But anyway, the Star Fox Assault stage was, and I just mentioned before how the Star Fox stages are just not that good. Like, this Star Fox Assault stage was actually a game-specific stage that was ripped straight from the game it's from, and that actually was really good, whereas all these other Star Fox stages either Smash Original or just kind of boring, you know? Like, this one had, like, a flipping space battle. It's really cool. Like, I don't know why they got rid of it and came up with a silly excuse that wouldn't work with Stage Morph. It makes no sense. And then there's actually one from Smash 3DS that actually should have returned, and that is the Pac Man Maze. How and why would you get rid of the Pac Man Maze? It's literally one of the most iconic places or stages or whatever you call it in video game history. Like, everyone knows that Pac-Man Maze because it's Pac-Man. I mean, come on. We do still have a Pac-Man stage in Smash, but it's from Pac-Land, and not everybody really knows that. Like, Pac-Man's literally Pac-Man. Like, it's just like Looney Tunes. Everybody knows Bugs Bunny. Everyone knows Mickey Mouse. Everybody knows Batman. Everyone knows, like, that's what Pac-Man is. It's so famous, it makes no sense to get rid of that stage. And then this is where it gets really stupid. They got rid of the Pac-Man stage, they got rid of the Star Fox Assault stage, and they got rid of that Donkey Kong stage for Electroplankton. Are you kidding me right now? I am still mind-boggling to this day on why they kept Electroplankton in the game, but not those other three I just mentioned. The Donkey Kong one is the only one I could viably give it a pass because of the weird gimmick it had that wouldn't technically work with Stage Morph, but the other two, it's like unacceptable practically. Why would we lose Pac Man Maze to Electroplankton? I need answers, Nintendo. I need answers. This makes no sense. With that rant aside, let's start with actually talking about some stages that are actually really cool, because, like, honestly, a lot of the best stages in Smash Bros. Are a lot of the third-party stages, probably because that's just how Nintendo works. They go to all that effort to get the contract with those third-party companies, so they're not going to screw around with messing up, making the stages super boring or super lame for the most part. Like, for example, some stages like Midgar from Final Fantasy VII, or the Minecraft stage from Minecraft, Dr. Wily's Castle from Mega Man 2, Shadow Moses Island from Metal Gear Solid, or heck, even the Mishima Dojo from Tekken is pretty interesting. They put all this effort into these third-party stages, and it's like, why can't Nintendo just do that with their own first-party Nintendo franchises? Because, like, some of these stages are really cool. It just kind of sucks that some of the Nintendo ones are kind of lame, because, like, take Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example. Breath of the Wild is literally the biggest Zelda game, not just Zelda game, but one of the biggest action adventures, I don't know, would you consider it an RPG, games of all time. So it feels like it should have had such a way, like a super cool stage, but it just got one of the Sheikah Towers, and that's okay, like it works and makes sense as a stage, but it's kind of a boring stage. Like, there's not much going on. If you look at the Midgar one, and you'll have like the summon materia pop up every now and then, and you literally can grab it and get some of the summons to appear in the background and cause pure chaos on the stage. The Minecraft stage, literally, it's a different stage almost every time you play it, because it puts you in like a different biome every time. I just mentioned with the Pilot Wings stage earlier, like, you're literally on a plane, so the stage is quite literally moving, and it will drop you on a different plane every now and then. And then there's the Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks where you're on a train, and then there's a Legend of Zelda Wind Waker where you're on a boat. and then there's all the Star Fox stages where you're on a spaceship at the very least. Some of these stages are so cool, and then you have the Breath of the Wild one. Literally, the stage is supposed to be for one of the biggest games of all time, and it's quite literally just a platform above a bigger platform. Like, it's kind of lame. I wish they could have made something better. I don't know what they would have done, but that's just one of them. I mean, so yeah, the stages as a whole is like pretty split 50-50, where it's like some of them are really good, some of them are really bad. There's that one stage that ticks you off and it makes you wonder why the heck it's even in the game, and some other stages didn't return. But for the most part, the stages pass. It's passable. The stage roster is amazing. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. Where in the world is Rainbow Road? They got rid of Rainbow Road? Are you kidding me? It's Rainbow Road. It's literally the most famous Mario Kart track of all time. Where is Rainbow Road? It's Rainbow Road! For crying out loud.